dollar, that's what I need. Hey, hey, said I need dollar.
Welcome back to 3 at 3, folks. You know what that means. We're going to give you 3 bits of unusual activity, lay it out for you, and answer your questions. So, let's get started. Sorry, Aloe. That's Aloe Black, by the way. B-L-A-C-C. All right, so getting down to it, let's open the presentation with the usual, which is that this is presented on the 3rd of December, and I am Jon Najarian. The disclaimer is that we are not giving you investment advice. This is for educational and informational purposes only. All investments involve risk, and to the extent that you understand the investment inside and out, we think you can be a better investor. We think you can mitigate many of those risks, but there always are risks involved with any investment. As far as our intellectual property rights, yes, indeed, we have intellectual property rights on virtually everything you're about to see. So before you use any of it, please ask us. And then, of course, we would say cite us because we are the people that produced the copywritten material, the trademarked or patented, all of that stuff is our intellectual property. So thank you for asking first. All right, Micron, yep, it continues to work. Whoo's another fill here. Micron continues to work. There it is from 2 days ago when the stock was sub 68. And even then, the stock was up over 5.9%. If you look at it today, which we will do on the next slide, there we go. When you look at it today, stock traded to $71 as of half an hour ago or so. It was 70 and a half, up another 2%. And those 70 calls that we cited, trading 254, up another 26% today. Bang! Because we're not the kind of people that do 1-digit moves. We want 2-digit or 3-digit moves out of these plays. Bang! That's how we roll. If you'd like to roll with us, check out marketrebellion.com/get started. That is marketrebellion.com/get started. We can show you all about what we do. We even show you how we do it. That will get you started in cryptocurrency, stocks, options, futures, you name it, technical analysis. We've got it all at marketrebellion.com. This is also one of those nice trades. I talked about it, as I said. I'm one of the few people on CNBC that's actually long this stock. Most people have just watched it for, give or take. Keep in mind, folks, this stock did a 5-for-1 split. So this stock, which has been on fire after that 5-for-1 split, Apple did a 4-for-1 split. This did a 5-for-1 split. You guys know what that means. That means 600 times 5 would be $3,000 a share. Goldman just moved their target up to 780 a share. And that's, of course, after the split. Anyway, Tesla, we had unusual activity yesterday. We've got strong activity in there again today. And it closed yesterday at 568. It opened today at 590. So the activity that we had yesterday in Tesla, paying off big time. What about another one? What about Penn? This one's from yesterday. I guess that's me. Yesterday on the show talking about the Penn December 80 calls that they were buying. Well, Penn worked pretty well, didn't it? You see the big grin on my friend at the NYSE. I'm sure that we're seeing a similar grin on Dave Portnoy because day trader Davey Global, DDTG, is probably grinning as well because he's got a lot of shares in Penn because his firm has a deal and took on a lot of stock from Penn for their involvement, and that's proved to be a very smart investment for all concerned. You like to learn more about unusual option activity? Well, heck, why don't you go on over to marketrebellion.com/UOA. That is marketrebellion.com/unusual option activity, or UOA as we like to say. You'll see exactly the 25 to 35 trades a day that we post up there. You'll see also that we have a service that's one trade a day, because 35 might be too many for you. We never tell you how to invest. We tell you what we're doing with our money. You decide how to trade yours. All right, unusual option activity. Today, kicking off right now with EEM. So the EEM was at $50.37. We said, hey, somebody bought 115,000 of these January 53 calls. That probably means something, right? 11.5 million share equivalent of those EEMs purchased very quickly. Look at that from the April lows. Actually, I guess March lows, I apologize. Basically $30, now 50.37, and just beautiful progression on that graph. Bang! Here is that as we posted it this morning early, 11:29 Eastern Time, about a half an hour before the halftime report. We said, hey, January 53's 115,000 trade for 44 cents. Now, that is the chart of the EEM over the last, I think, 5 days, that 5-day chart. So keep an eye on it. If you choose to invest in it, just make sure that you truncate your time decay as best you can. We can show you how to do that. Another one, NEO. These are December 50 calls. So regular December 50 calls in NEO, electric car maker out of China. December 24th expiration. I said regular December. I was mistaken. As you see on the screen, December 24th, Christmas Eve. That's when these options will expire. Is it going to be a present? Is it going to be coal? I don't think it's going to be coal, because this one's been hot, hot, hot. But we will always, as I emphasize to you, we will mitigate our risk, cut losses at a 50% drawdown in the options that we buy. How much of those options? Well, let's see. Whoops, sorry. I guess I don't have that one. Sorry. I thought I put it up. But with the stock at the, where was it? 46-ish level. Yeah, 46.65. As you might imagine, I am not buying the 50 calls. I'm buying a lower strike and selling a higher strike, 1-to-1. I've got an example of that coming right up on this third of our 3 at 3. Another fill coming in. Thank you. Bang. WDC, Western Digital, Western Dig. Stock's 48. They're buying the 60 calls. So that's approximately $11.29 out of the money. So you think I buy those? No. Doesn't mean it's a bad trade. In fact, it's got very little risk, because you're paying, let's say you paid 50 cents for them. That's $50 per option, since every option is for 100 shares of stock. So 50 cents. If you get a fast movement out of the stock, you could see those options double. You don't need it to go all the way up to 60. But that is an out-of-the-money reach for Western Digital. So I like moving the odds into my favor. I do that by buying a lower strike and selling a higher strike against it, 1-to-1. Let's look at how that plays, shall we? 1-to-1, Western Digital, I would buy, and did buy, the 50 calls in January. As you see there, WDC Jan 2021 calls, they were trading up 65 cents at $2.65. Then you look at the others, which I would sell. Those are the 52.50s. So in this example, I'm paying approximately, 80 some odd cents for this, and the stock does not have to make that extraordinary move to 60. In fact, if we get a pretty quick move and the sort of dies out here, this spread probably widens out to $1.20 to $1.50. If we break 50 to the upside, don't need to be anywhere near 60. If we go to 53, which would put both sides in the money, this spread goes to $2.50. Why is that? Because the right to buy it, you own it. If you own the 50 calls, right to let somebody else, the obligation to let somebody else take it from you at 52.50. Well, you got paid for that side of it. So the net is that this spread could widen to $2.50. So you paid 80 some odd cents for or $80 each spread for something to go to $250. So you get the idea. This could be nearly a triple. Bang! That's the way I move the odds into my favor. I'll do another one right in these questions as they came to me on Twitter. Again, you can send me questions by hitting at Jon Najarian, JONNAJARIAN, or you could use our 3 at 3, which is the at sign, the number 3, at the number 3, _ UOA. That's the other Twitter handle just for these questions. Vale. Sean Montgomery, and his handle is Go Murray, or Go Mary. Again, Sean Montgomery. He says, took off half, been letting the rest run. Bam! Love to hear it, Sean. I love hearing people that don't just watch, but actually act. And I like that Sean was talking about he has a 326% gain on the trade. This is an infrastructure play, Vale. Love it. Still in it. And obviously, Sean loves it as well. Intel, how about this one? Intel calls Jan 15, 2021. What do you guys think? My next 10-bagger idea, he says. Okay. First of all, thank you very much, Farmer, for shooting that over. INTC. I bought it today as well. Now, the stock is up 2%, let's call it 2.25%. It's a nice move. Started off with a pop and then sold off and then continued the rally. So as as Farmer 085439888, that's a lot of numbers there, buddy. As he posted that, what do we think? I think Pete and I both like it. Pete owned it for longer. I just bought it today. So upside calls, yeah. January 2021 calls he's asking about specifically. I'm pulling them up over here on my trade platform. January 2021 calls. See, the biggest volume there is this extraordinary volume in the 55s, which is 33,000 contracts. It's almost the entire open interest, which is also 33,000 contracts. So the reason that this isn't a bigger buy is that I like to see it overcome that open interest. It has not done that yet, but the calls are up 41% on the day, trading about 66 cents. So I like that a lot. But Farmer, even though I joined you here, I did not buy those calls. I bought the lower strike, which also had a lot of volume, which was the 50 calls, and sold the 5250s. But you didn't designate which strike you bought. You just said calls. And I hope for both of our sakes that we see more out of Intel over the next several days and weeks. How about this one? It's a 1-to-1 versus a 1-by-2. Greg Hudson, which is L HUD 1968, might be his birthday, says, John, awesome info as always. Thank you, Greg. We're humble enough to say thank you, and we appreciate all of you tuning in. Please explain the 1-to-1 strategy versus the 1-by-2. I, too, buy at the money and sell out the money against. And as long as you do that 1-to-1, I bought 100, I sold 100, I bought 10, I sold 10. As long as you're doing that, you have no upside exposure. On the other hand, what if you do that ratio spread? So if I went back, and we can do that, let's go back to mine. What if, in this case, in WDC, I was to have purchased the same calls, the 50s, and sold 2 of the 5250s. So approximately, I'd be collecting, instead of, 358, I'd be collecting 358 because 179 twice would be 358, and I've paid out 265. So I've collected a big fat credit of just under $1 for doing that. I might feel pretty bulled up about that. But you know what happens? If this starts moving to the upside, and keep in mind why we got in here. We got into WDC because they were buying the 60 calls. Now, if you do a 1x2 spread, Greg, all of a sudden as it moves, these calls start picking up deltas. So in other words, they start acting more and more like stock as it moves to the money. So for instance, the most you could make on a 1x2 spread is right at that strike, 52.50. But it would test your mettle getting to 52.50, because if it makes a move through 50 and starts moving to 52, you're getting shorter and shorter and shorter in your position. So you started off with a bullish position, and all of a sudden you're getting hammered because now you're having to scramble and buy calls back, or buy stock against it as it's rising. So for that reason, ratio spreads are dangerous inherently, whereas 1-to-1 spreads have no additional danger. Once I buy that 50 call, I assume no additional risk selling that 52.50 call as long as I do it 1-to-1. When I do it 1x2 or any other ratio, I start assuming upside risk for a stock that I wanted to go up anyway. So that's what I would say about that, Greg Hudson. Thank you. Tesla. Patrick Cannon says, I am so grateful for you both. UOA on Tesla yesterday, that is unusual option activity. In Tesla yesterday, I bought, made an amazing return, biggest trade of my life this far. You two are amazing. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Patrick. Much appreciated. I hope you have continued success, and I thank you for highlighting Tesla as I did earlier in the show as well. If you'd like to learn more about everything that we do, go to marketrebellion.com. If you'd like to learn specifically about unusual option activity, go to marketrebellion.com/UOA. That is marketrebellion.com/UOA. Thank you for joining us today, folks. I hope you have a great day. It's been a good day over here. I'm about to say adios. We'll let Aloe Black take us out with that. Why don't we? Okay, Aloe.
I need a dollar, that's what I need.
Hey.
Well, I need a dollar, that's what I need. Said I need
Have a great day, everybody. See you soon. Workout video tomorrow.